We are going to, for this lesson, go over how you can update and set up your toolbars and where they're located. So what your toolbars are these little symbols all along the top of your screen and along the sides of your screen, and then you'll see a tool palette. To be able to see these, what you're going to do is come up to the top, and this should be pretty similar whether you have a Mac or a PC. The difference is that a Mac you'll come over and you need to be able to see the file, edit, build, all of those menu items. You're going to need to have it pop down most likely. But if we come over here and we go to tools, and then we go to toolbars and hotkeys, we can click on customize toolbars. Now, what I'm showing you right now is the Chief Architect's residential template. This is not one that I have set up. So this is just their default. This is how their settings are. Well, you can see that there's different configurations based off of how I've edited things. So if we come in here and so if we were to say, as an example, if we were to come in here and go to click on extended toolbar, we can click on switch to, and you'll see that the symbols at the top will change. If we come in here, we go to switch to space planning, you can see that there's a lot of items that just aren't available anymore. So if you're finding that you are having a hard time and all of a sudden you log in and this is how it is, you can come in here and go to import, and you within the documents data folder, if you come from the data folder and go to toolbars, you should see the different toolbar settings that have been saved and are available. So I'm going to just click on the default configuration. That's probably the one that you're going to want to most likely bring in. If you're seeing this dot back, it's most likely because that's coming from, it's a backup file that's coming from if and when you migrated from an earlier version of Chief. So I'm going to go ahead and click open. And if I click on switch to, you're going to see now I've got quite a few more options on here, and these are going to make a bigger difference as to what you need as a designer. So to specifically go over some of these items, if we talk about these different tools, you can see first of all their view types are plan. We can go into elevation, materials, and essentially they've kind of decided, okay, well, based off of these, this is the information that we're going to add on here, right? So this is what they're essentially providing you. You can add to this, however, and if you're ever wondering what the different symbols are, you can just dump into this toolbar customization, go to tools, and you can see what exactly is available to use and be able to manipulate and change things. I can tell you I don't use everything in here. Hence the whole purpose of this course. I'm showing you only what I found that is really necessary within the interior design industry or basics of maybe architecture. So what we want to do is we're going to come over here to toolbar, and you're going to see in here they've got different toolbar controls. So we're in plan view right now. So if I uncheck this, you can see how these default control panel toolbars right here is turning on and off. We actually want to make sure that that is turned on. We also want this active layer set control toolbar turned on, the active saved plans, and then you can come in and kind of see what happens. So I don't really do the arc creation modes. You can do architectural features. You absolutely want those selected. Cameras and navigation, I would definitely recommend edit mode. I, again, don't really use that. File management, so you will want to have that up there. That's these symbols up here. Especially if you get used to using the interface a certain way. That will make a really big difference. If you end up building in your hotkeys, this might not be something that is as big of a deal for you because you're just going to start dropping commands in. So you do want to make sure the floor up and down is on. That will save you a lot of time. You don't really need the layout information. You can if you want to. But really, this should only be put on if you're using a layout file. There's material lists. Again, we'll go over that very briefly, but you don't need to have that on all the time. Page management, again, that is for layout. Ray tracing, that doesn't necessarily need to be on there. If you find that you do a lot of ray tracing, it might be helpful, but it defaults to open that up. So selection toggles, snap toggles, if you want to be able to decide what those snaps are, and then toggle modes, I always keep that on. It's really, I pretty much, if you see it the way it is, that's how I keep it all the time. Other than like the line weights tool with this, which is this, the two heavy, a heavy line and a light line with the arrows, that, and then the layer reference tool. Toolbar configurations, so you can see touch screen access. I don't have a touch screen. Zoom, that can be really helpful to keep that going too. So you can see that that is based off of your plan, and then you can change it for the elevation, as you can see with each one here. So then if you decide to, let's say that you did update this and you want to make sure that, hey, this is a standard on every single one of your computers, you can come in here and you can click copy. And let's say that you wanted to call it company toolbar standard configuration. You know, obviously name, you know, instead of saying company, put your company's name. And then you can click OK. And then that should technically save. You can see it saved it now within your data folder. So if you ever have an issue in the future, I would actually recommend you just copy and paste that in your company-wide Chief Architect folder, not your data folder as well, so that if you ever have any issues, you can always find that in the future. Maybe if you update a version or something like that and it doesn't migrate over, that'll be saved. So that is essentially how you can update your toolbars and customize them based off of the different items and how you want to use them.